Welcome back, Leanaholics. I'm your host, Dr. Lean. Today's tool is going to be the SIPOOC. And the SIPOOC is an acronym. It means suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, outcomes, and then customers. Now, what it's for, the SIPOOC is a scoping tool. So think about this. You should have watched the charter video before this one, because that's the foundational document that we do. The very first thing that we should be doing to scope our problem, make sure that we have it scoped in a business case, problem or opportunity statement, and goals. Well, on that bottom piece of the big four being scope, this tool helps to solidify what exactly is in there. So when we've identified what's the trigger to kick this process off, and then what's the trigger that ends this process, there's a whole lot of people in there, and there's a whole lot of things going on, a lot of inputs, a lot of outputs, a lot of things that are happening, right? So now we've got to basically put all that down into a document just so we can get it out there and we can all see it, and we all are on the same page moving forward. So as we're building the foundation during the define phase, I generally like to fill the SIPOOC out starting with the C, the customers, at the end. You can do it either way. I'm not dogmatic. Do whatever you want. But follow me in the logic here when I do this. I like to identify my internal and external customers first. I need to know who's paying for this process to get done, one, with my external customers, and with my internal customers and external, who's receiving this product or service. That's the very first thing I've got to identify. It seems simple, but wait till you fill one of these out and you really have to narrow it down. Who actually receives this product or service? Now, that being said, after I've defined who my customers are, both internal and external, then I'm going to move to my outcomes. So these are kind of the intangibles, like the streamlined process, the error-free process and all that type of stuff. Then I'm going to go fill out the output or outputs. So think about an onboarding process. There's a particular package that's going through the onboarding process. So that being said, the output is going to be that completed package, right? They have to check in at all these different stations. Well, back it up from the outputs, and now you're into the process. And now this is a big 30,000 foot view, the big process. It's not every step in the process. That'll come in process mapping later on. But for this here, we just want to put out the major pieces, meaning like it starts out with the recruiter. The recruiter submits the package to the onboarding specialist. The onboarding specialist gives it to security, and security, they issue a badge, and then it goes on to IT, and IT issues their email and their computer and all this other stuff, right? So it goes by the big stations essentially, and each step in there should have a verb in it. It's some sort of action that's being done. So that being said, we try to keep it to about 5 to 7 steps, and then when we step back, we look at the inputs and we say, well, each one of those, accounting and IT and security, they need different inputs to complete their jobs, whether it's personally identifiable information, maybe it's the resume or whatever it is. They all need a different input or inputs. And then we step back and we say, okay, the suppliers. Who are the suppliers that are going to supply the inputs that we've just identified? And that's why I filled it out backward. Now follow the logic on when I read it from start to finish. SIPOOC, I don't read it backwards from the customer. Now watch, because if I have my suppliers, I say, who are the key suppliers here that deliver the inputs that we need to drive the process completion? And in this process, what is our output, the product or service that we're getting from it that delivers the outcomes to those specific customers that they receive? So I hope that clarifies what the SIPOOC stands for, what it is, how we use it, and how it can benefit you tying up that scope on that charter. Good luck filling out your SIPOOC. I'll see you in the classroom.